What's up, guys? This is Boondocks, and today I want to talk about the new melee weapon in Warframe, the Caustacyst. Now, this thing's pretty cool because it acts kind of like the Redeemer in the fact that when you charge it up, it's going to shoot something out. In this case, it's going to shoot out a wave of like toxic goo all over the ground, and to me, that's kind of interesting. The one major difference, though, between this and the Redeemer is you can't quick attack charge it. So instead, you are going to have to swap over to the weapon and then use your charged attack to cast it. Now, a quick thing about this toxic trail that gets left behind. As you can see, it actually shoots and flies for an extremely long distance. It seems to get weaker the longer it travels, and in addition to that, it's always going to stop if it hits something. So, for instance, if you aim at the floor, you're only going to get a little splotch. So you're always going to want to aim off at a distant enemy and then attack in that direction so that anybody that walks on it then suffers the consequences. With that being said, let's take a quick look at the base stats, and then we will hop on back to show how I currently have it built. If we take a look at the base stats, you can right away glaringly see its crit chance is trash, but it does kind of make up for it with a 30% status chance, and all things considered, that's pretty decent. It makes it so that the weapon can be used to strip enemies of their lives, more or less, because you can use viral procs on them, corrosive procs on them, and the weapon does have an inherent corrosive ability. With that being said, though, I would have actually preferred it to have just a pure toxic, because the way that Warframe works, you can only apply up to 2 procs of an element for any given single hit. Now, I'm not sure 100% if the trail can constantly keep proccing, and if that's the case, then having additional elements on there, not that big of a deal. But as is, I would prefer to just have toxic, so that way I can go for viral and then build something else separately, or so on. But right now, if you want to try to use different combinations of elements, you're always going to be left over with a corrosive. Prime example of that is my second build that I have, which I'm going to be going for viral and heat. Now, the issue here is I could throw on another electric, but then I'm going to have, let's see here. I would have radiation, and that could be slightly problematic. As you can see now, I have radiation, viral, and corrosive, whereas I would prefer to just have viral and heat, or maybe just viral and radiation. And because of that, it can get a little bit annoying at times, but overall, not that big of a deal. Outside of that, I am going to be using Prime Pressure Point and Prime Fury, as well as the Stalking Fan stance. Now, this can be slightly annoying to get. Not all players have Stalking Fan. A lot more people have the Reaping Spiral. And if that's the case, feel free to just use the Reaping Spiral. I wouldn't actually reform of the stance slot because I actually prefer Stalking Fan a lot more. It just flows better. That's my personal choice. It's up to you. And if that's the case, you might want to form something else. This weapon does come with a Matter Eye slot right here, and I would definitely go for that. Now, I am going to be using the Prime Fury, and that's because, while it's not going to increase the speed of your charge attack, it will increase the speed at which your first attack goes off, and therefore decrease the number of frames it takes to then start charging. So, you can actually feel it. My other build is just going to be corrosive and cold, so you can kind of pick and choose what you want, and also feel free to swap out one of your status mods for, say, Life Strike, or even swap out one of your primary mods for an additional status mod. It's all up to you. With that being said, let's just kind of go show this off. Now, this weapon would be amazing during any type of defense, especially against, say, Infested, because they're just going to keep charging at you and can lay down these waves of death, and then as they try to run across them, they're going to take more and more damage. But I'm just going to quickly show off why this weapon becomes truly powerful. So, as we come running up to these guys, I'll hit them with a quick attack, and they're pretty much already dead. Now, the one thing that you might want to take note of is because this is a melee weapon, stealth is going to do more damage, as per always. As you can see, this thing is just going to tear enemies apart, and it's actually kind of fun doing it. Now, another interesting thing, let's see if I can attack one of these guys from far enough away that they don't just instantly die. You might have been able to see it proc really quick right there, along with the corrosive proc that went off, but these waves of death actually can proc slash. Now this is interesting because maybe it got it on him. No, just the cold. But your death wave can proc slash, which is interesting because the weapon doesn't have any inherent slash on it. So it's definitely kind of cool. Let's see. Anyone get it on him? How about you? Cold. No. Oh well. Trust me, they can get slashed. It's kind of cool and definitely interesting. I would probably look to trying to pick up this weapon if you can. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun to use, and I would try it out. Anyways, guys, until next time, like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.